Well, I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We've just seen our weekly candle close for ADA, which was great. Saw it for BTC, which was even better. And now it's a question of what are we going to get as we get into the early part of the week. And I do want to talk about that in this video with you guys, but I do want to give you a brief summary of what took place this weekend. Not a whole lot. It was very easy. End of the video, right? Now I'm kidding. We did not get a whole lot of news this weekend. It was pretty quiet. And I will say that despite that, we actually saw a lot of resilience in the charts. And I want to talk about that in terms of ADA. I want to show everybody where we're setting up at getting into this week. Want a quick run back through some things that may actually carry some momentum into next week. So if you guys are new or this week rather. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So although we finished Sunday's candle red, it was barely red, down only 0.2%. Pretty quiet day in the market overall, actually, despite quite a bit of volume. Last 24 hours have been $161 billion in daily trading volume. ADA actually $1 billion in trading volume. We were kind of all over the board today, but we finished kind of break even. It was just waves up and down, just riding that. And frankly, there wasn't really a whole lot of news that changed anything today. I guess this would be the only thing I could really point towards is NVIDIA and AMD agree to pay 15% of the Chinese chip sales revenue to the U.S. government. This is obviously coming following the announcement that there's going to be 100% tariffs on any chips manufactured outside the US. So maybe this is their kind of way of skirting around that. But for the most part, again, it's pretty quiet. I will say BTC actually finished with its second highest weekly close in history, actually at 119,336 versus 119,451 just 2 weeks ago. And we're kind of in a good spot getting into this coming week. I will say here, we have the total market, total 3 versus the US 500 still broken out, looking very good there. We have to watch and see if there's going to be a potential retest at this 20-day moving average. In several of these breakouts, historically speaking, we have come back down. We have retested this before we really got an extension off of that. So that might be something that we have to just pay attention to in the early part of the week. And I want to remind everybody that we do have a PPI and a CPI report that are coming midweek as well that are probably going to influence the markets. But this is where we sit at from an open interest standpoint in terms of ADA. We still have a bunch of short leverage above here, have a bunch of long leverage down below here. And it's a question of, who's going to win this week. I will say right now we are slightly green on the daily candle, not saying that's going to be the case even by the time that we get to the first video tomorrow. But we did do a lot of big things over the course of the week. And I want to show you guys these once again, because these are the things that can have the weight to carry and span multiple weeks and lead us to bigger moves. Again, President Trump officially signing the executive order, opening up 401k retirement market to crypto investments. Again, it's a $12.5 trillion market. The SEC and Ripple officially ended their legal battle by filing for the joint dismissal of appeals. We also had the official signing of the executive order to stop banking discrimination against crypto, religion, and politics. Again, open up access to crypto, open up probably further fiat on-ramps as time progresses. Canada loses 40,800 jobs in July, the largest monthly decline since the COVID pandemic. Harvard buys $116 million worth of BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, which I thought was actually a pretty big deal. And I meant to talk about this in an earlier video. I didn't get a chance to do it, but they have completely flipped the script from all the way back in 2017, 2018. They thought crypto was dumb. They thought that it was more likely that BTC was actually going to be at $100 versus 100K in the year 2027. And here they sit actually buying the asset, right? Well, not the underlying asset itself, but you guys get the point. It shows you that the embrace of crypto has come a long way. And guys, we're still just really starting this. Crypto czar David Sachs says the executive orders President Trump signed this week will give 90 million Americans access to crypto. 82% of the S&P 500 companies beat quarterly earnings estimates despite President Trump's tariffs, which I think this is a really big deal. This is showing a lot of confidence in risk-on markets, the stock market, the crypto market, etc. And the SEC declares crypto liquid staking activities are not considered securities. So those are kind of your big ticket items for the week. You can obviously see the Ethereum one at the bottom here, but these are things that are big long-term items. All right. Yes, the news is big. It pumped the markets. It's great. It's exciting. It's fun. Right. But when we start to see some of those massive inflows take place in 401k accounts, when we see more enterprises accumulating assets in the space, whether that be ADA, whether that be BTC or others, right? this is the big wave that we keep talking about, right? And sometimes these waves just take a really long time to build. The biggest waves, they don't happen like that. And that's something that I think that people tend to forget. Yes, it's fun. It's exciting when we go and we do, you know, these 20, 30, 50, 100% daily candles in terms of ADA. But the big wave is what we're building towards. We're building towards mass adoption. We're building towards enterprise adoption. Again, the biggest thing I will say is on these charts, you have to zoom out. You have to think long term because, guys, we're still only at 5 to 6% of the world in crypto. How do we think things are going to look at 10%, 15, 20, 50%? That is what is coming in the not so distant future. And I'm kind of getting off track here, but I saw a comment today saying that they weren't going to hold ADA past or into 2026. And I think that there are a lot of people that are going to handcuff themselves because they're dealing with finites, right? Or dealing with absolutes. And it's like they say in Star Wars, right? Only a Sith deals in absolutes. There are so many people that are going to mess up this market cycle because we're getting into such big things we have never seen in the crypto market before. We are in the transition from a market in its infancy to a mature market. And really all these things that we've been dealing with in 2023, 2024, 2025 have been getting us to this point. And that is, again, where we have Cardano and ADA having a true opportunity to thrive. So I'll leave you guys with that for the night, but I appreciate you as always. We'll see how things shake out, but hope we have a great week ahead. So have a great night. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.